Welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, we'll be discussing reference types in Solidity. Value of reference type can be modified through multiple different places, unlike value types. Take for example, when you define this, unsigned integer heads number equals 7, and you define unsigned integer empty, unsigned integer 8, number equals number. Now, once we update number in a function to 10, that doesn't affect number. Underscore number will still be 7, but number is now 10 because the value type is not a reference type. I hope you understand what reference type and value type, like the unique differences like that. So currently, a reference type comprises of struct, array, and mapping. So if you use a reference type, you always have to explicitly provide the data area where the type is stored. There are three different types of data area in Solidity. There is memory, there is storage, and Calldata. Memory is a data area, and its lifetime is limited to external call or function. For storage data area is the lifetime of the contract. So as long as the contract is still active, the location where a state variable is stored in storage will be available for the lifetime of the contract. And Calldata is similar to memory. So let's take a look at the example to see how reference type works. Let's copy this to remix editor. But before we move on, it's important to note and understand that dynamically sized array cannot be, or fixed size array cannot be assigned to dynamically sized array. So that being said, come to contracts and create ref types. Paste this in here. So let's see how this works. You'll notice that we have unsigned integer, an array of unsigned integer hex here, which is public. We don't need to define a storage, but you can put it if you want to and say storage, but it's not necessary to do that. Actually, we can omit that. Now, the function def is going to assign an array of numbers to x, and the function copy would copy a reference of x, would copy x to y. So what will happen? What our compiler will do? What will happen? Or what's going to happen in storage? Or what's going to happen in the Ethereum virtual machine is, instead of creating a new space in storage for y, it's just going to copy this here and reference x. That's what's going to happen, right? So by the time we now reference y2, we are going to get the third element in the array of x, and by the time we would update x, third element in x to 0, it's going to reflect on y. So we are going to echo out y here and echo out the copied, and you're going to see that it's going to reference x. So let's see how that works. So first we compile, and next PDS, and this is not here, so we can just do that. So we compile again, and yes, turn this off. Deploy. Once we deploy, first thing we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Before we do that, if we try to call 0, nothing. This should try an error, nothing. See, because there is nothing in the array yet. X is empty. So if we define done, and then we call this, now returns 1. We call 2. See, 2 is 3. Now let's call copy. Remember, the second the third element on the array is 3. It counts from 0, 1, 2, so it's 3. So click on copy now. Now let's see our output. We check debug, decoded output. We get 1, 2, 0. See, it was X that we called this on, that we changed the third element to 0, which is supposed to be 3. And then we change to 0, and then 3. So we change 3 to 0. So that's how reference type works. And reference types, I would say we have array, mapping, and struct. I'll see you in the next lesson.